Alright, boys, so in today's video we're gonna be doing an overall tier list, tier list in Genshin Impact. Now, I have made one like a month ago-ish, or like on whenever Genshin Impact came out, right? Like 2 days after. Now, that was with my experiences from the beta, plus like what my thoughts were, but now that I'm AR40 and I've almost used every character, or almost have every character, because, you know, I spent quite a lot of money on this game as well. I am now a lot more informed and well educated about the characters, right? Now, you still might disagree with my opinion, and that doesn't mean that I'm wrong or that you're wrong, right? Because I could be wrong, but I'm just saying I'm AR40 now. This is my experience. Until most people are AR60 and we get to test out every character in every aspect with every build, it's gonna be hard to say which one's the best and what, right? But for now, this is just my opinion from what I've seen and from what I've seen from a lot of other people, and I've talked to a lot of people as well. So yeah, we're gonna just go into the same order. I actually am upset that Paimon is on here, but it's whatever. Okay, so Amber, everyone starts with Amber, and Amber's place is pretty obvious. I'm gonna put her in C tier. Now, especially because jungling is free, and we'll talk about jungling in a second, she is just worse at applying pyro damage, like, not necessarily applying pyro damage, but being like a pyro secondary DPS, support DPS, right? One, she's a bow user. Two, her skill is horrible, the little bear panda thingy. And then her ultimate is like fine, but her ultimate doesn't do damage. Her panda doesn't really do too much damage either. If you have like a lot of constellation her, it can be kind of useful, but for the most part, she's not that great, right? You can still make her work if you build her, especially, I mean, you can buy a dupe a month from the shop, from the stock loader exchange every month. So, I mean, you could max her out, you could make her machine, right? Also, real quick, every character on this, you can, even the next one that we're going to talk about, you can make a main DPS, you can make whatever you want. As of right now, right, we haven't hit content where you can't use any character you want in any content you want, right? Right now, every character is viable. So, yeah. Now, the next one is Barbara. Everyone has Barbara, I'm gonna assume. Or most people have Barbara, right? Now, if she's not max constellation, she's a lot worse, right? So I'm gonna give her two placings. One with max constellation, one without. Now, without, her healing is kind of like luster compared to the other healers, okay? She's slightly below Noelle, but she's more consistent than Noelle. And then she's like Chichi and Jin both like are a lot higher than what she is when it comes to just raw healing. But she does have her ultimate that does give quite a lot of health, and she can get that ultimate pretty quickly, right? Also, she's one of the only healers, and she's the only healer that can use a catalyst. So you can give her the book, the dragon something, I believe, that gives 50% attack on switch out, which is really, really useful. It also gives HP, so it works really well with her, okay? Because her heals scale of HP. Therefore, I think it's fair to put her in S tier. Also, as you can tell, I've made SSS, SSS, ABC, because, I mean, I think even like Barbara, Amber is like actually just B tier, okay? But like she is lower than everyone that's gonna be in here. But I don't think that there's like bad characters in this game. I think every character is like good. Like minimum, they're all good, okay? They might not be great or amazing, but they're all like at least good and usable. As of now, okay? It might change in the future, right? We thought the same about some other gacha games, and it has changed. But right now, it seems like everyone can put in the work if you build them correctly, right? Okay, now Baidu, a lot of people's favorite. I don't like her, but I can't deny her damage, and I can't deny her shield being really useful to have melee uptime and covering large areas with that big swing. Her ultimate's also really, really useful, and she's electro type, which is, I believe, for a DPS, just like the best type. Like electro or pyro, like those are the best DPS types, in my opinion, right? Because like the reactions you get with other elements of them are just really, really useful. Now, where would I put Baidu or Baidu, whatever you want to call her, right? Not sure. I don't think she's SSS, right? That's going to be like 2 or 3 units maybe at max. I'm not sure if I'll put her SS. Yeah, I'll put her SS because I do believe she's not the same tier as Barbara. I do believe she's a tier better than Barbara, because she actually just doesn't need healing as well. Because like her shield, she has it up every like 7 seconds, and then her ultimate as well covers big areas. And I think healing is not too necessary in this game, but it is. Also, I forgot to mention on Barbara, if you have her max constellation, she might be here, because that revive can save you a lot of Abyss runs. Okay. Now, Bennett, I used to think very highly of, and I still think very highly of, but I think currently in the game he's not that good. In the future he will be good, right? Let's say you have 4 really good sets, right? And you have a really good set for Bennett, but also for everyone else, he's really good. But right now, no one, or most people don't have 4 good sets, so having a whole set on Bennett just takes away from the other, like the rest of your team. I know this sounds weird, but anyway, I think his ultimate is insane, right? It heals you, it gives it heals everyone, and it gives everyone attack based off Bennett's base attack, which is really good, right? Now, and the second thing is that he applies fire really well, because he does a lot of strikes, and it has a low cooldown, and it does actually a lot of damage, right? You can build him DPS, and he's also support, right? He covers both areas, but he doesn't excel any. He doesn't excel at being a support. He doesn't excel at being a DPS, which is why, sadly, I love Bennett. I have to put him in A tier. I have to put him in A tier. He's not as good as Barbara or Baidu, right? Barbara's a better support. Baidu's a better DPS, right? So he's just here, being in the middle, like being halfway there on both sides is just not enough, right? It doesn't cut it. Okay, now Trung Yoon used to be my favorite unit in the game by far. Like I still think that his design is sick, right? Like his attire and everything really cool. His skills really cool. If you have constellations on him, he's definitely SS. All right. If you have 3 or 4, the one with the blade reset on kill. If you have that constellation on him, he's SS. All right. But if you don't, he is hovering around like really high A tier to low S tier. Okay. But to please the Trung Yoon fans, and because I really like Trung Yoon, I will put him in S tier. Okay. But he could be both. Right. Okay, now Diluc is pretty obvious where he's going, right? So I won't even waste too much time talking about him. A guy does too much damage. A guy does too much consistent damage. It's not just burst damage, right? He keeps doing like a crazy amount of damage. He's really good at it. He's really good at just killing everything. And if you have constellations in him, then oh boy, my guy is actually just too good. He's actually just too good if you have constellations in him, right? But I mean, I'm not gonna waste too much time. That guy is insane. Now, Fischl is also very well known, right? She is she's an amazing support DPS, right? You just put her down her bird, but you can also play her as main DPS, especially if you have her max constellation, like I do. But I mean, I feel like that's unrealistic, because I'm going to assume that most people are free to play or relatively free to play in this, so that they can't afford to max every character out. If you don't have her maxed out, she's still great. She's still great, especially if you don't have her, by the way. We should be getting a free one on 1.1 in an event, so look forward to that. Or if you want dupe off max dupe, then hey, you're gonna get it. Easy clap. Now, okay, Fischl. What do I really like? Okay, Fischl is SSS. All right, let's stop trying to stall for it. She's SSS. Her bird is too good. She's a 4-star in SSS, which I like. I like that it is a 4-star in SSS tier. Fischl's bird is way too good, right? Like Oz, amazing. Okay, and then she herself like does good damage too, like right, like with her like normal shots. Right? You can build her with like insane damage, but she does so much damage. She is so great at supporting, because by the time the bird runs out, you either have her ultimate to reset the bird, or like you're like in the middle of doing something else with a character. When you switch out, you probably have the bird again. So you just have like this bird, this damn bird is just always up. It does so much damage, and it's just really consistent and helps you getting elemental reactions a lot as well. Because my guy keeps firing, right? So yeah, she's insane. Honestly, like I don't see her ever falling off. I don't like using her. I find her pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie, but she is really good. Like, I can't deny that she's really good, but I don't like using her. To be fair, I don't like using either of them. I don't like Diluc. I don't like Fischl anymore. I used to love Fischl, but I don't like any of them. I don't like either of those anymore. Now, Jin, I will say, when I was on the Chinese beta, I used to think that she's the best character in the game, and she is really good. But she is in the same boat as Bennett, where like she can't decide if she wants to be support or if she wants to be DPS, right? Now, the difference with her is that she does both drops a lot better than Bennett, and she does healing, like she is really good at healing. She's as good as Barbara in healing, but she does a lot more damage, right? Which is why she might do more healing than Barbara though, as well. But I don't like her ultimate. I find her ultimate pretty weak. And her normal skill can be really useful, but I'm not too big of a fan of it either. Okay, but she does a lot of damage. You can build her main DPS, and she heals, which is great, right? And she always heals. Doesn't need a skill to be active. She just always heals, so that's great. Yeah, that's about it. I can't really say more about Jin. Now, Kaya, I used to use on my team recently because I've been a fan of the double ice trait, the 50% increased crit rate against frozen or cryo applied enemies, and Kaya was actually really good at applying ice, but that's all he does. That's all he does. He applies ice or he builds bridges for you. There's not more that he does. He's not in the same tier as Bennett. I cannot put him A tier. He's not as bad as Ember, so I can't put him there. He is B tier. He's B for Bridge Boy, right? He makes the bridges across the water, which, by the way, in the future we won't need because there's a new ice character coming. Well, in the distant future, and she has the same dash as Mona, where she can like just dash across the water, but she makes an ice path. So hey. Anyway, now Kaching SSS tier. Insane DPS, like just incredible DPS. Mobility is also really good. She can combo single targets for days. Her ultimate kills everything in like a 30-meter radius. Like, it's insane, right? She will kill everything in like your abyss room of one ultimate. She always has electro damage up, which, like I said before, is really good. But if they're electro damage, you can choose to not use it, right? If they're immune to electro, because it is sort of stiletto, you have to activate it to get it, right? So you don't have to activate it. You can just like you do your physical damage and still do really good damage with her. Or I mean, I guess switch out to your other DPS. That would probably fare a lot better against an electro type enemy. But still, Kaching absolute like just insane damage, and that's pretty much all she is. She's just like insane damage, a character. She does, I believe, without constellations, she does more than Diluc. And with Constellation, Diluc does more. But without the Constellations, I'm pretty sure she does more than Diluc even. Right? And she has both burst and consistent DPS, which is great. Now, the new character, Clee. We'll save her for last. Alright, Lisa. Lisa is really good in doing damage, but she's really bad at being mobile. Right? You have to stand still for a skill, and I don't like that. It does a lot of damage though, and you're really good at applying Electro. Right? Which is fine, but she does a lot of damage, and she's just a catalyst user, and there's some great catalysts for people like her. But I'm gonna be honest, A tier. Also, let me know if you want to see a Lisa build guide. I can make one. She's pretty easy to build, just randomly, by the way. Also, if you're new, subscribe. You know, I do make build guides and like other stuff, right, about characters. Just get general Genshin Impact content, you know, the stuff you want to see. Anyway. Mona. Now, I think I don't like that SS is so empty. Wait. Okay, never mind. I thought they were missing characters. They're not. Okay. Mona is really good at making other characters better, right? With her like bubbles and damage increase, dream world, whatever you want to call it, right? Really good at making other people do damage. But she does pretty good damage herself too. In co-op, I think she's worse than she is in single player, which is a minus to me, because co-op should be your main. I don't know. That's not. That shouldn't be a minus, because that's just me. I think co-op, like if you're better in co-op, you're better overall. If you're not good in co-op, you're not that good. But she's still great in co-op because she makes everyone do more damage. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of Mona, as you can tell. But I can't deny that she's really good, and she does good damage herself. And she makes everyone else do stupid damage too. So I do believe she's better than these, right? But she's not better than Baidu or Baidu, whatever, right? So I'm gonna put her in SS. I think that's fair. Like I said, I'm just not a big fan of her kit. I think her kit's pretty boring. I don't know why they make all the water characters support type characters, right? Like, just give us like a proper water DPS, thank you. Now Ning Wang, I actually super underestimated in the past. Damage output wise, she is absolutely nuts. She does so much damage. I did not know this when I made my first tier list, right? I just looked at her stats and everything else. That's pretty good, but like not that special. But my god, does she do damage? She does so much damage. She's a glass, like, she's not even a glass cannon, because with like her like wall, right? Other than doing a lot of damage, you can actually wall out enemies pretty effectively, and then like you'll just be safe, right? So and you have the crystallized shield. Like she is like, plus her insane damage, like actually really good. Like she's actually really good. I don't know where I want to put her. If technically I should need to put her here, right? Because I put Baidu here, but Baidu does a little more than DPS, right? She has her shield too, she can tank technically, right? She has a lot more utility. She has damage reduction, all that. But like her, like she has utility too, right? With her wall. And in the future, like it'll be even better because Zhongli will interact with Geo Construct, so he'll interact with her wall. And she does so much. She does more damage than Baidu. I'm certain she does more. And I've seen people claim that there's builds of her that will outdamage any Diluc build, but I'm not too sure about that, so I'm not gonna put her like in SSS, right? But she is really good at dishing out a lot of damage, so we'll keep it there. Noelle, great character, love her kit. I don't like Geo though, right? And I've said this in the last tier list too. I don't like Geo. I think her kit is great, but she's a lot better than I thought. This is how like. My first video. I still think that a lot of people that complained about like my first tier, it wasn't even my channel, it wasn't someone else's channel. A lot of people that complained didn't know what they were talking about, and they were just upset their favorite character wasn't like where it was, where they thought it was, or like I just disagree with their opinion and they just got upset. But Noelle is just really solid, but not outstanding. Her kit is really cool. Her kit, you can build her both main DPS and support, right? She uses a greatsword, which I feel like if you have a greatsword, you're automatically like +1 tier higher than you would be without a greatsword. So I'm hovering between A and S. Now I have to compare her. Is she better than Trung Yoon, or is she on the same level as Trung Yoon? I don't think so. Trung Yoon with constellation is definitely like outclassing her by a lot. Let's say both don't have constellation. Alright, then she just has her breastplate, slight bit of healing. Her ultimate's great at clearing out enemies, but I believe Trung Yoon is better. Do I believe that Trung Yoon is so much better that she would be an A tier, where Bennett is? Yes. I think she's on the same-ish type of usefulness as Bennett, where she's trying to be a DPS and a support, and a tank, and she's pretty good at all of them, but she's not like she doesn't excel at any of them, so that's holding her back. She doesn't have an identity, right? Anyway, Chichi, okay, Chichi is actually so insanely good. She heals so much, even if she does her ultimate makes it so you mark people and everyone gets healed. She has a chance to apply her ult talisman on just random people if you have her Ascension 4. Right, so like you're healing in co-op. In co-op, she is actually like the top 2 best units, right? Yeah, it's obvious who the best one is, but she's like the second best because she just makes everything so easy. You don't have to worry about anything. She heals everyone at the same time, right? Like all the other healers do as well, right? I know that, but her healing is just so like on a different level from everyone else that if Jean and Barbara are here, she is here. Okay, I'm gonna put her like here. Her healing is insane. And she does really good damage as well, because you have to build her attack. My Chichi currently has 2000 attack with like 40% crit rate and like 50% crit damage. And she's doing great. And she has a 5-star sword, right? 20% physical, like or even more than 20, like 30% physical damage increase. Like she's doing great damage. Only complaint about her is that she has the same skill as Barbara, as in like that little thing that circles around you. It's not as hindering as Barbara's, because like, Barbara's makes you wet so you get frozen real quick, but I just don't like it. I wish it was more interactive, but it's still really good. Like that skill does a lot of damage for some reason, and like I said, her healing is insane, and just because of her healing, she's in this tier, right? If you want to disagree, you can, but I don't know, mate. Like her healing, if you don't have her or you haven't like played with her enough, like trust me, like she is mind-blowingly good at at healing and dual DPS, right? She's just a better Jean, in my opinion. Right, with more boring skills, I have to admit. But, I mean, they're both boring. But she's just better. So, yeah. Like, Jean seems like a 4-star if you compare it to Chichi. To me. Anyway. Razor, best boy. Now, he's a great DPS. Now, if you've watched, and I recommend this video, Dark Skin Gaming's video, he made a video, Razor versus Baidu. Now, he's a bias, right? We can't lie, he's a little biased towards Baidu. But he still made some great points. And they're both great sword users. They're both Electro. Razor does more damage, but she has a little more utility with the damage reduction and the shield, right? I want to put him here, but, and he's my main DPS, right? But sometimes he falls short, because raw DPS sometimes just does not cut it, right? And you need support to cover for him, which is fine, because he's the main DPS, you're supposed to do that, but like these just operate on the, like, Baidu does not need the support, she does not need support, she is the support, and she is, well, the healer support, whatever you want to call it, right? So, yeah, I want to put him in S, I'm going to put him in SS, I'm going to put him at, these aren't that ordered, like, whoever's on the left isn't necessarily better than the rest, right? This is just very loosely ordered, okay? So, it would be Razor, Mona, like, it would be probably this, right, order, I think. I'm not sure, though. Okay, Sucrose. Now, she gets disrespected so much. Sucrose gets disrespected so much. And she's my favorite wife. And she's my waifu, right? Like, I think her design is very cute. So I like her. Which is why you may think I'm biased, but I'm not. What does Sucrose bring to the table? A lot of burst AoE animo damage. And her ultimate that's like similar to Venti's, not really, but can do great things. Therefore, she's S tier. No, she's A tier, sadly. She's a Catalyst user, so you can do some interesting builds with her. I'm trying to figure out a build that is like supporty with a lot of damage though. But we'll have to wait until I do it. Sorry, I'm sick. My nose is running and everything, so excuse me. But yeah, she's really good. But she's not this good, okay? I wish she was better, right? If you have Constellation her, she's actually, I'd say here, right? Which mine is finally max Constellation, so I'm really happy. Like, she's around here, if you have a max Constellation. But if you don't, she's here. And I have to assume that no one has any more max Constellation. Now, this is going to be the Anemo character, and this is going to be the Geo character, okay? So the Anemo character, I'd say in an overall tier list, right? This isn't about like DPS. I'll make a DPS tier list tomorrow, probably. In an overall tier list, I'd say, because she is really good, but I had to think of a different character play. Like, well, that thing is really good. I'll put S tier. One, you get the Constellation for free, and the Constellation has some neat buffs, right? Mainly the first one, to be honest. The first one's the main one for Anemo, but still good. If you build the Anemo Traveler correctly, which I have made a video on, so go check that out. They can do a lot. They can do a lot, not just damage, but utility as well, right? But that's about it, right? It's just like, it's a better Sucrose, pretty much, kind of, right? A more consistent Sucrose. So that's why S tier, right? They nowhere near close this, but like low S tier or high A tier. The Geo one is high S tier, because the Geo one does a lot of damage, but that's about it. And the Geo constructs that he creates are really annoying. That they create. The ultimate is so buggy you can't jump over it properly half the time. And then their skill is the little like boulder is just also just annoying to deal with, right? On your own. And enemies can get on top of it, and then it's even more annoying. And then that's the only downfall. Damage wise, they're insane. They do so much damage. You can, especially because the Traveler on Ascension just gets a percentage attack increase for some whatever reason, right? But yeah, anyway, like just damage, but I wish the skills were different. I wish you could break your own Geo constructs with like just one swing. Then I'd put them in SS maybe even. But for now, S tier, constructs are annoying, does a lot of damage though. Okay, Venti, my favorite girl. Okay, if I say this, people are gonna dislike the video again. I'm sorry, I know Venti's a boy, it's just a running joke. Now, you know where Venti's going, right? Venti and Chichi, and Kaching actually, are the best co-op units. Venti and Kaching clear the entire field, and Chichi makes it so no one can die, right? Which, funny enough, she's a zombie. It's funny that she's making it so no one can die, right? Venti, just like, I mean, you've heard enough talk about Venti, I don't want to repeat it. Insane damage, insane utility, that ultimate is too good, and you have it every 2 seconds. Yeah, it's too good, right? Venti is too good. Okay, Ning. I was talking about her earlier, I believe, when I was talking about, I forgot who. Bennett? No, Amber. I was talking about Amber. I said, Ning is just better. Ning is just better. And there's two placements, and they're vastly different. This is Ning without dupes. This is Ning with dupes. If you have Juggling Max Constellation, she's up here. Or maybe even here, right? She does insane damage as a main DPS if you have Constellation. If you don't have Constellation, she's more of a support. We can still run as a main DPS, but then she's not that good, right? Actually, probably still around here. I just realized who she's up against. Probably still around like here-ish. Actually, you know, I'll put her above Barbara because, you know, whatever. But yeah, no, she's definitely S tier, right? And like I said, the tier list, like the order doesn't really matter, okay? It's just like, ignore the order, okay? It's just mainly about the tier. Now, okay, jungling super, like, mega damage if you have Constellations. And if you don't, still really good damage because, like, the Lance combo just has a lot of damage in it. And then her Guoba Panda thingy is really good as well. Because you just throw it out and it just auto-aims onto targets and just does good damage. And it applies Pyro and it's great and I love it. And it's awesome. But like I said, if you have her Constellation 4, she's here. Constellation 6, she's here. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, Zhao. Now Zhao is not out, but I'm gonna make a just guess, right? And from the gameplay we have seen so far, and from his numbers and his skills, and from being a Lance user. Now Zhao is obviously here. Okay. Next one is Jin Shu. Now Jin Shu is okay. So Zhao does a lot of damage, Anemo damage, widespread damage, consistent damage, stupid damage. And he's just awesome and I love him. We'll have to wait until he comes out. I can't give you a proper analysis of him until he comes out, okay? So that's why I didn't bother, right? Anyway. Now Jinshu, I believe he's up here. I think he's the best character in the game, but I know people will cry if I do this. So he is Bennett, where he's support and he does damage. But he does both better. Okay? Yeah, he does both better. If you have Constellation him, I'd say he's here. If you don't have Constellation him, I'd say he's here. Right, he's S tier. I think he's just about the same as Jean. I'm actually so sad that Jean is here. Jean is high S tier, okay? She could be SS, right? But I don't know. For me, she just doesn't cut it. She just does not cut it for me as SS tier. Like if I compare them to these, Jean does not compare to me. In my opinion, she does not compare. So yeah. Anyway, Jinkyu with Constellation is up here. He still does great damage. And he still offers great support. Great, just great, right? Just great. Great describes him so well. Great. Great. Awesome. Amazing. So he's here. If you have Constellation, he's like here or here, right? But yeah. Now Clee, right? I feel like it's pretty obvious where I'm gonna put her. But Clee, the new just insane damage, nuke, bomb, ka-chow, everything, right? SSS tier. Stupid amount of damage, works really well with a lot of characters. Like her and Venti, that's probably the best Venti combo. Her and Kaching work really well together as well because you'll have mines everywhere. So when she ults, you trigger overloaded everywhere because everyone's gonna walk into the mines. Really good. Works really good with Fischl too as your other DPS because you'll just attack them with both fire and thingy really consistently. Works really well as a main DPS, works really good as a support DPS, works just really well with everything. It's really good at single target damage, is really good at doing AoE damage, is really good at doing damage, okay? Now that's their whole thing, does a lot of damage. So, SSS tier, I think everyone's seen this coming. Now, if you're watching this, right, you can turn the video off now. But I will put 5 extra minutes of just a black screen saying, don't skip to the end. So that's gonna be it for the video though. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you agree with most of what I said, if not everything, right? Let me know what you disagree with and what you really agree with that I did differently to other people that you may have seen, right? Which I don't know what that would be, but let me know, okay?